Aloha! Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis. My co-host Jason Moran on the call as well.
Let's go. Let's go. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun time today.
Yeah.
We've got an awesome live show set up for you guys. We're going to be talking about the tools, the tech, and the software that we use to automate our agency and how you can use them too. Got some surprises on that, so you guys are going to want to stick around for that. I know Jason's going to have some great insight on that because he is our automation expert inside of Remote Millionaires. As always,
Kind of.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah, the automation expert.
Yeah.
I was thinking Kung Fu Panda. I'm not a panda. I'm the panda. All right.
There you go.
So we're going to take your questions. We're going to do some shout outs. We're just going to have a good time. So grab a cool drink. I'm going to cue up the intro. We'll see you back here in one momento.
It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Got it fired up. I love it.
That's all for you, Tom. That's all.
Well, I
you
was
right
gone
there.
last week, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, people missed out. It was a good live show. Let's see who else here. I see Chandra. I see Chris. Welcome. How's it, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Been kind of a Jason and I were just talking before the show. Been a busy couple days. Been a busy week. My wife had a birthday on Wednesday, so
Happy
we've been having
birthday.
some biggest birthday fun. And then obviously work stuff going on too. So lots of things happening. We've had a little bump along the way over at the agency. The agency's website got hacked. So the way we were able to identify it was we get these notifications, right, of our rankings. So we set them up sometimes for various clients if a client's a challenge and for a lot of our own stuff so that we can, just keep an eye. So we use a tool called SERP Robot, and it will actually email you notifications about your rankings. And so we got a notification and noticed that our ranking had dropped. And so when we looked into it, the site had been hacked. This has happened before. We've always recovered from it. We're pretty much recovered from it now. We've got the site back. We've got it all fixed. It's really just a byproduct of ranking number one for a competitive term, right? When you're ranking number one and you're up there and you're out there, like it kind of puts a target on your back. I know
Definitely.
The first time it happened to us, we freaked out. But we have since learned that there's no need to freak out. Like when you lose a number one ranking, it can feel like the end of the world, but the reality is we go in, we fix a few things, and, here within a few days, maybe a few weeks at most, we should have those rankings back up. So we know we can recover from that kind of stuff. And, it also allows us to figure out, well, how did the person get in? What else do we need to do to our security? How do we improve our game as well? So that's one thing that's been going on at the agency. So if this ever happens to you, don't panic.
Yep.
You'll be able to work through it, right? We actually did a course a while back, all on, securing sites and things like that. It's not just important for and we had security measures on the site, by the way. Like we had that stuff, but, hackers can get through. Some pretty smart people out there doing that. So, just keep in mind that you want to make sure you have security on your sites. You want to make sure your client sites are secure, and that way you can deal with that stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Always a good idea.
Yep. Hey, what's up, Barbara? I see Richie in the house.
Yeah.
Jacqueline from across the pond. Welcome.
We got Regina.
Welcome. Regina's
Very
been
cool.
has her reach machine up and running. She's been getting some action. Enrique, What's up, Enrique from Puerto Rico? Nice.
Cool.
A couple other things. Why don't we start off with some shark shout outs? Let's celebrate some wins. And then I want to talk a little bit about some of the tools. Actually, a friend of ours just rolled out an AI social media tool that we've been checking out that's pretty freaking slick. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And then we'll talk about some of the other tools we use in the agency, things like that. What to do if you're not a techie person, right? Like, I don't consider myself a techie person. A lot of the stuff I learned over the years. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So maybe what to do. And so let me pull up the shout outs. Jason, what's been going on in your world while I do that?
Oh man, a whole heck of a lot. where to start?
Yeah. How much time do we have today?
Yeah, right. It's been kind of crazy lately. On a personal note, we're actually getting ready to move. So we're been doing a lot of packing here at the house and getting ready. We're staying in the same city, just moving houses. So that's been a big deal kind of personally, but yeah, a lot of stuff going on in RM with students.
I hate moving, just so you know.
Oh yeah, it's never never fun at all, you know. Yeah. So yeah, the wife's actually out in the kitchen right now boxing some stuff up. So
nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, I have to work.
Yeah, I know, right?
I got this live show from 3 until about 7.
Exactly. So yeah, so dealing with that, students, support calls, you name it, reach machine.
Yeah.
You know? But it's all good stuff. You know?
Dude, it's been awesome to it seems like every day I open up my computer and look in the school group that we set up for Reach. Somebody's posting about the leads they're getting.
Right.
Even yesterday, it was like Adam V. Like by the end of the day, he had like 16 new leads. You know, it's just amazing. I saw Regina got hers up and fired up, and so it's really awesome to see all that stuff. So maybe we'll see some of those in the wins. Let's see.
Yeah, I just met with Regina. What was it? I don't know. All the days are blended together now. I can't remember if it was this morning or if it was yesterday, but we just chatted, and yeah, she's ready to rock. She's got everything set up. It's going to be fun to watch her get that thing fired up. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, a big shout out to Dorn. Happy birthday, buddy.
Hey, happy birthday, Dorn.
I hope I hope Lucy gave you an amazing birthday.
Yeah.
If she didn't, tell her to step up her game. Awesome. Cool. Great. All right. So here we go. We got some shark shout outs for this past week. First up, Mary Debs sold a new website to a painting and construction business. I know we don't see how much she sold that for, but Mary, congratulations. That is an awesome win.
Very nice. An
awesome win. Rahul, local SEO deal closed $315. That's awesome. That's a great deal. Yeah.
Take those monthly deals all the time. Those are great.
EG Buzz shared that her monthly revenue went up. She is now at 9,532 with 4 clients, and we are only halfway through September.
That's fantastic. Woo!
I mean, that's almost a 6-figure agency.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a 6-figure agency, EG. It has been awesome to watch you take action, get results, and grow inside of our community. I mean, great stuff. Marvin Drobes, new Google My Business client, $399 optimization, and then $399 a month agreement for a minimum of 6 months, plus $299 a month for social media management.
Killer.
Social media management, Jason, such a great. I mean, I know we talk a lot about SEO, but one of the other things we do at the agency pretty consistently is social media management. Like that really is a big pain point for a lot of local businesses. They really don't know what they're doing there. They don't have the time to do it. They just want somebody to handle it for them. And, my favorite thing about it is that it's an activity-based service, right? As compared to like SEO. So when you're talking about SEO or running ads, those are result-based services, meaning that with like SEO, a client looks at they Google And if they're not on page one, like that's what they're paying for, the result, right? They're paying for you to deliver a result. And it can be a little trickier and take a little more care to manage those types of clients, especially when you're new, because you don't have the confidence in your abilities. And, it can just be a little shaky. So a lot of times when people are, starting out or getting their agencies off the ground, we recommend that you stick to things like activity-based services. Like websites are an activity-based service. Somebody pays you money, you deliver a website, deal done. Doesn't matter if not a single person ever comes to that site, it does not affect you. The result, right. They're paying for the thing. Social media management, it can be the same thing because you're making so many posts either per day, per week, per month, whatever that is, an amount of content, and they're paying you for those things. So when they see that stuff happening on the time schedule that you set out, like they know what they're paying for, right? Now, ultimately, our goal is to, bring people in, attract more customers. The website's ultimate goal is to help them sell more, all that stuff. But what they're initially paying for is just that activity. So I know social media, it's really good. I know Jacqueline has been doing some social media management. Regina said she loves social media management. She doesn't like doing it. It's very time consuming. Is that a good outsource? And that's one thing, I think you guys, so this first tool I'm going to talk about here in a minute, I think you guys are going to like it because Regina, it actually solves that problem. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. Let's see who's up next. We've got Joanne Westwood.
Oh, Joanne.
Yeah, sold her second recurring profits website.
Very nice.
Awesome stuff, Joanne.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with Joanne. She's doing great. I love working with her. She's such a fun student. Yeah. She's made a lot of progress, since we started meeting.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Adam Van Dyne, or I think you say his last. Would it be Dyne or Dwan? Adam, you have to correct me on my pronunciation. But Adam landed a website update and Google Business Profile optimization for a career coaching business. $1,200 for the website, 30 monthly hosting maintenance fee plus $150 for the Google Business Profile Optimizer. And Adam has set up a reach machine and has just been like killing it. It's like just notification. Like yesterday, it was like I woke up this morning to what did he say? I woke up this morning to 6 new leads, and then he's like, "Oh, another one just came in." And then like a few hours later, he's like, "There's another one. Oh, here's another 3." And then when I woke up this morning, the last message in his thread was like, "Up to 16 for the day." I was like, "Man, that's freaking awesome!"
That's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool great to see that.
Yeah, so way to go. And then the agency, the Nick Ponte Marketing Agency, sold a $5,000 website, 3/4 payment collected, a 2,000-month Google ad campaign to an activity concierge on the island of Oahu. That's a combined total of $11,067 for the week of September 9th through September 15th. The grand total since the start of 2023 is $1,173,820. That's what you, our community, have collected from taking some action, getting out of your comfort zone, and actually executing. It's so funny. Right before I got on the live show, Jason, somebody was in some Facebook group. You always get those questions. What's the most important this, and this person, like, what's the most important marketing skill? And the first thing I thought was like, you know what the most important marketing skill is? Execution. Like I see a gazillion people that can talk marketing online. Man, they know about funnels and upsells and done sells and all the psychological way to write copy, and they have done squat.
Yeah.
Because they don't execute, right? They've done squat. So anyway.
Yeah, it really does boil down. It's when you really peel it back, this business is super simple. It really is. It really just boils down to that. Executing, talking to people. Really, that's it. Yeah. It's literally relationships, like any business, really.
Yeah.
It's sales and relationship. And that's really what it boils down to. And it's, there's a million different ways.
Complicated though.
Oh yeah.
Like, and and the complicated process that has been for me has always been me. Like, it wasn't the business. I used to always think it was the business. Like, I just don't understand the business. But the reality is, I look back as like, I was the biggest roadblock because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't just get up and go do it. I didn't have the, in the beginning, I didn't have the relentless mindset of like, I am just going to keep going until I get a client.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I made that shift and was like, I'm going out today and I'm not coming home until I freaking have a client. Once I made that shift and then started taking action and executing based on that relentlessness, like then things really started to turn around. So
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, we get in our own way all the time. I mean, time. I mean that it happened to me for years, until it finally, I don't know what it was that clicked, but once it did, and I understood that it was me, I was the bottleneck, right? I was the problem, not my website, not my funnel, not my Google ads. It was me, and making that realization, that's a huge, huge light bulb moment for sure.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny because I remember, oops, sorry. I didn't mean to do that there. Sorry, guys. I remember the feeling of not being able to get that first client, right? Like it just seems so hard. And I think back on that now and I'm like, oh, I mean, like, I don't know why I felt like it was just so crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Dorn says his team tells him to hold up all the time. It's true, Dorn. Brian Kurtz, who we've had on the live show before, and he's got a great book called Over Deliver. He always talks about that he's the chief, what does he call it? The chief non-sales. Basically, it's like he's the chief anti-sales person in his business. Like
cool.
He's like always like running the things down. So yeah, crazy. Awesome. So look, we want to talk about some tools. So before we get into some of the tools that we use, in the agency, in RM, there's a couple of things that we've been talking about behind the scenes here at Offline Sharks HQ and amongst our team. One is, because of who we are, right? Like we're in a space where we put out products. A lot of people come to us with things that they've developed, things that they want to put out for us to check out and see. A lot of times way before they're released publicly, sometimes they'll even come to us and offer us a special deal, some kind of special pricing or something just because of you guys, our community, and how great we are. So we've been kicking around an idea here at the office about starting a separate email list that would just focus on curated deals and things that we could get from people. So I'm curious, who is anybody on this live shows? Would you guys be interested in that? Like if we had an email list that just let you know about new softwares that we were testing, because we test a lot of different stuff in the agency, right? And we don't always talk about all of it because we're constantly testing new things and new things come along. We're trying new stuff out. So would you guys be interested in hearing from us about what those things are that we're currently testing and working with behind the scenes and all that stuff? Because if you guys are, then that's what we're thinking of doing. We're going to set up a separate list. So you'll go there and subscribe, and then we'll tell you about the tools we're testing and the things that we see on the horizon and stuff like that. Actually, the tool I want to talk about right now is kind of one of those things. I don't know if you guys know Ben Murray. He's someone who we know through our various product launches and things like that. He does a lot of agency stuff on and off over the years. But he has an AI social tool that looks pretty slick. It's called AI Socials. It basically takes AI, and the AI will run the entire social media agency for you. So the AI will go out and find keywords that have led to viral content based on your client, and then it will create all the content to be sent out based off of that. It's really cool. It's called AI Socials. We actually, Cameron threw together a little bonus package just for our members. So let me show you this real quick. And then here, I'm going to put this on the screen. So if you guys want to go check this thing out, if you go to offlinesharks.com/AI socials, you'll see this. Let me show you this. And I don't know that we're really, I think we maybe sent one email on this. I'm not sure. Like, we're not really going to be mentioning it outside of this, but I just wanted to kind of bring it to your attention. So Cameron threw together a little bonus package. So these are some of the things you get when you grab it through our link. So we have a private sales training with our agency sales rep, Megan. So for those of you that don't know, Megan is our full-time sales rep at the agency. Nick did a training with her about how she gets clients. Here's something interesting about Megan. She has no idea about the internet marketing world. Like, we have been training her how to use software and things to automate her prospecting system and get better results. When she came to us, she was just going out, finding businesses, calling them up and talking to them. And it's really interesting to hear her approach. And like Jason said, when you boil this down, it's pretty straightforward and simple. And what you'll see from Megan, who has closed well over 500,000, I think somewhere, a few $100,000 in business. I don't know the exact number. A few $100,000 in business for the agency just since the beginning of this year, at least. I mean, it's maybe more than that. But when you see how direct and straightforward her approach is, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. But we know it works because we've got the sales to back it up, right? So you'll get this training, $250 value. We're also going to throw in the best of the best niches cheat sheet. So these are like the best niches we found to target. We've also got an agency admin made easy, the ultimate tool guide. So this is basically like a cheat sheet that's packed with all the top tools you need to streamline your workflow, boost productivity, maximize efficiency. Some of the things, we're going to talk about some of these on the show today, but you get an entire list of them in here. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to include our new client intake form, and then 5 boosting blog posts. And you get all of that. It's almost a $900 value, but you get it free. All you do is just click the green button on this page, grab AI Social through our link. It's on a special launch pricing right now. You can go to their sales page and see everything this thing does. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It does so much. It's really amazing. Uses AI. You guys should check it out. So go to offlinesharks.com AI Social. Check that out. And I think you guys will enjoy it.
That's a killer deal.
Cool.
Especially that stuff with Megan. I mean, Megan's fantastic.
I'm really trying not to buy this. Oops. Yeah. Chandra said I just purchased yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah. It's got testing tools. Yeah. It's really cool. So check it out. Ben's a great guy. His support is always good, top notch. He launches with another guy. They take good care of their customers. So we like doing business with them. We like, a lot of their tools are great. They got a lot of cutting edge stuff. And so, anyway, you guys want to check that out. So, all right, let's talk about some tools and things that you guys can use here as well. So Jason, what are some of your favorite tools at the agency?
Yeah. Well, the number one tool, which I'm sure that I use in the agency, is High Level.
What? High Level?
I know. But, before High Level, I can't even tell you how many tools I had duct taped together in my little system using Zapier. But High Level's been a godsend, since 2017. I kind of got involved with them during really kind of the beta launch program that they had. And haven't really looked back since, that was a big deal for me. They solved a big pain point that I had at the time, which was, collecting leads, having a centralized database in order to collect leads and store leads in some sort of a CRM. But then, with everything else, the email marketing tools, the funnel builder, the website builder, the forms, everything is it's all housed under one roof. It's made things really simple in order to run kind of the day-to-day aspect of the agency. So that's really huge. And we use it for a lot of clients as well. So it's not just my agency that's using it. I actually have quite a few clients on it as well. Yeah. So that's a big tool.
Yeah. It's a big one for us too. We kind of resisted at first, but we just had so many separate tools going on. The more we looked at it, we were like, it'd just be great to have everything in one place, right? So now we run everything from the Nick Ponte agency, all goes through High Level. One thing I wanted to talk about here at the beginning, because there's two things that we've already been talking about this show that I think are really important to keep in mind when we talk about these tools and softwares and things like this. Because I remember when I was first getting started, I had like 10 software subscriptions, but I wasn't executing. And so it was like, I'm just spending this money, but I'm not executing, so I'm not really using them. So this is back to the point about execution is really the key, right? When you are looking at software tools, if you don't have a client that you can charge pretty quickly for them, I would pass on getting any tools, right? Until we have that first client.
Yep.
Or maybe you get one tool that does a lot of stuff, like go High Level, but your goal is to get a client as quickly as possible so that you're not actually spending money out of your pocket for the tool. So if you have a bunch of tools that you're not directly using to generate revenue, I would think about, well, how do I want to handle that, right? Especially if they're monthly recurring charges. Like sometimes you just have to be real with yourself and be like, look, if I get a client that I can use this with, I can always come back and get it. And when you're using a client's money to pay for the tools you use, the price isn't as big of an issue, right? So yeah, maybe it's on a deal right now, but like if I'm charging a client $1,000 a month, is it really that much of a difference? That's something to think about too. So that's number one. Remember that these tools are only good and valuable when you're using them to execute and actually take action. Number two, maybe you're like, you're not a techie person, right? I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to bite the bullet and start to learn your way around some tools. Now, what I see with a lot of people that think they're not techie is the reality is they're fluttering from tool to tool to tool to tool, and that's just too much for anybody to try to do, right? So pick what you would consider to be the most critical tool for the execution that you're doing at the current moment, right? So let's say you are a Reach Machine member, okay? Well, it's valuable to spend some time going through the training that Jason did in that members area about custom values and things like that, because you're using this tool to generate leads and activity that's for your revenue, right? So shut down all the other tools. Like, let's just focus on learning these fundamental things that we need to make this Reach machine go. We don't need to learn everything that it does. We need to learn, well, how can we get it up and running as quickly as possible, right? So it's very hard to do. I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not the best at this either. When I get some new fancy thing, I want to know everything that's going on and how to all work. But the reality is, like, we want to be taking action and executing as quickly as possible. We can figure out all the little bells and whistles, tweaks, and all that stuff later. So really just focus on learning the fundamental stuff and just putting the time in, just keep working until you get it. Don't go fluttering off to some new software tool or some new thing, right? Like, just stay focused on the task at hand. That can help you with all that. So High Level, that's a big one in our agency. I got a list of some other tools that we use pretty much on the daily. So we use Slack every day. So, as you know, Jason, we've got a Slack workspace for Remote Millionaires members. So we have pretty much instant communication with them. Yep. We also have a Slack workspace for Offline Sharks with the team there. We also have another Slack workspace for, I don't know what that's doing. We also have another Slack workspace for the agency. We have inter-channel communication between all those places. So, sometimes we want to ask about things that are going on in the agency. Sometimes they want to ask us stuff. So Slack we use every day. Asana is like a project manager tool that we use. We use LastPass to manage our passwords. A lot of people ask this question, like, when you're working with the client, how do you handle the client's sensitive information? Like like their passwords and things like that. And our answer is LastPass. So we have them create a LastPass, and then they can share that stuff with us, but we don't actually see it. And then we can share that with our team without our team actually seeing it. So no one ever sees what the password is, but the software actually logs them in. There's other tools that do that as well. Slack is, I'm not sure who this is right here. So Slack is a communication tool. So it's like a team communication tool. So you have channels and you can communicate with your team. Check it out. It's really, really good. Let's see what else we got here. For like meetings and things like that, obviously we use Zoom. We also use, for a long time, we used Skype. Like when we were looking to bring team members on and we were doing interviews with people that were maybe overseas, we would do those interviews through Skype. Now we do them through Zoom, but we were using those through Skype. I mentioned SERP Robot at the beginning that we use to track rankings. A couple of other SEO tools we use are Ahrefs. We also use Google Analytics, Search Console. We use Google Drive to keep all of our client information and our company information in order. So, you know, one of the great things about being a Remote Millionaires member is that you actually get to copy our entire agency Google Drive structure. So we show you exactly how because we've already figured all that out, right? How to stay organized, how to keep it all. So you get all of that as well. What else? Front, Cyphe, CYFE. Those are some other tools we use. Any other tools that, you know, StreamYard? We do this live show every week with StreamYard. StreamYard is a great little like live streaming tool and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think StreamYard's great. Zoom, obviously, we use that a lot. Asana. I've also used Monday.com, you know, another project management tool.
Monday.com. Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we use Lead Kahuna. Lead Kahuna
that's right.
is a list building tool of choice, right?
Yep. Trying to think of any other tools kind of jump out. There is one that I've used for quite a few years, Manage WP. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one,
I am
Tom.
familiar with that. That allows you to manage multiple WordPress websites.
Yeah, manage multiple WordPress sites. So, you know, we've got a lot of clients that are on WordPress. So that's a really good tool for managing WordPress sites, doing automatic updates and automatic backups and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big tool that we'll use for WordPress sites.
Yep, we use Zagio. Yeah.
Yep, Zagio.
I mean, there's so many tools that we use. It's crazy. Like,
yeah.
You know, and this is another thing about the tools, right? We talked about the execution part, but here's the thing too. Like the tools that we use, we use them over time. Like we didn't just start. We did exactly what I said before. We used those tools, right? When we needed them. Like we got them when we needed them. Does that make sense? Like we didn't just go out and get all these subscription to all of these tools and be like, let's go. Like we've gradually added them on and built them in as we needed them and when there are things in our process. So
yeah.
Leads Gorilla, I've never really used, Sean. We've never really used that.
We've used Leads Gorilla a little bit.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, any of the lead scraping tools, they essentially all do the same thing. You know, they all, each of them have their pros and cons. But like you said, I mean, it really just comes down to execution. You know, we could talk about tools all day long, but really,
and what you're comfortable with,
where it is,
right? Like,
true.
If you have Leads Gorilla and you're using it to get leads, but we're talking about Lead Kahuna, like, just use Leads Gorilla. Like, there's no need to, unless there's some specific thing that you're like, oh, this is what I need in there, right?
Right.
So one of the things that I would say too is think about like what are the bare. We were just talking about this the other day, the minimum viable agency, right?
Yeah.
And like what are the first things we need, right? Well, we need to be prospecting. So if we have a tool that helps us with prospecting, that would be a good investment, right?
Yep.
Smart investment in the beginning. So, well, if we're going to prospect, we need to be able to identify people to prospect to. That's an important part of that process. So investing in a lead scraping tool or a lead gathering tool, and there are a lot of different ones out there. just research them, find one you like, right? Or use one we recommend. That's a good investment though, right? Because that tool is going to lead you. Building a list is a revenue producing activity. That's a revenue producing activity, building a list.
Yep.
Before we can start reaching out to people, we have to have a list. So that's a good investment. Some type of automated prospecting system. So like our reach machine, that's something that you take the list, you load it into, you have a cold list, you drop it in. On the other side, out come hot leads, paying clients. That is a fundamental system you want to have in place, right?
Yep.
Now, you don't have to be using the reach machine, whatever your prospecting method or thing is, as long as you can build a list and you can prospect consistently, like Monday through Friday, you're golden. So we want to have that set up. So those are fundamental things. We need to have a way to take payments. That's pretty fundamental. So I know, if you're using high level, it connects with various payment processors. When I was first getting started, I used PayPal to take payments and I accepted checks. Then I switched over to Square. So we use Square a lot. We used Square in the agency for years and years and years. It wasn't until just recently that we've kind of started moving things to QuickBooks because the agency's doing so much in revenue that we need a more robust, we need to be able to drill down more in what we're doing. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's another part about it too, Jason, is like, do you really need a full-fledged accounting software when you don't have any clients? No.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, I'm chuckling too, Tom, because, you mentioned collecting checks and I just instantly brought back my early memories of driving around town and literally picking up checks from clients,
Yeah. I remember when a client paid me in cash and I thought it was like a payday. I was like, woo! I was like, God, pay me in cash.
I'll never forget. I had a guy, it was a small little bar that we were doing some social media for. And every time he was always late to pay. And then I'd have to go there and I'd have to sit and wait. And sometimes I'd be waiting for 2 hours. The guy'd be running around and 1 minute. I'll get your check.
Yeah.
And just those memories just came flooding back. I'm like, oh man, I don't miss those days. Yeah. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, you don't need a full-fledged accounting software. Stripe is just fine. PayPal is just fine. But yeah, a way to collect payment. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
and I think that's important, right? I think that's important, knowing like, well, what your situation is and what do I really need. So anything, if you have 0 clients, anything that help with processing is good, a way to take payments. But there's a lot of free things out there, Stripe, PayPal, all those things can help you do that. Square, and you don't have to pay anything for those types of things. Dorn says he likes to take payment in booze. That's good, Dorn. That's good. What do you? What would be some other fundamental tools that I would think of outside of that? So, in the beginning, when it came to like just managing outreach and client stuff, like I just used a Google spreadsheet that had like, here's the people I contacted, here's the notes on them. When you're getting off the ground, right? You want to try to keep those recurring monthly expenses to the minimum fundamental things that you need, right?
Yeah.
And then you can always add that stuff in later. I thought one of the worst things that happened to me, well, I shouldn't say one of the worst things, but this was funny to me. When I was struggling to get my agency off the ground, like I had bought all this stuff and wasn't getting any traction. And I was like, that's it, I'm done. So I canceled it all. I started using spreadsheets and really getting scrappy with managing my finances as getting the agency off the ground. Then as I started to have success, that was like the worst thing that could have happened to me, because then I was like, oh, I got a little bit of a jangle in my pocket over here. I'll just buy that tool and I'll buy that tool. And next thing I knew, I had like all these tools, but I wasn't, like they weren't part of my execution plan. And I was like, oh, well, this isn't right? Like I need things that I can I need to be purchasing things that are going to go in the execution plan. So then I shifted to that. So,
yeah, it tends to happen in this business quite a bit. I know that happened to me too.
Yeah.
But I'd say a fundamental tool, a cell phone, a way to talk to people. Like
you need
literally, like let's get
right?
down to basics. I mean, literally a cell phone, a laptop, some sort of a computer, right? Maybe a basic website. And I would say to add to that, a calendar. A calendar, you could use a calendar system. I use the calendar system inside High Level.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a way to book an appointment, a basic way to book an appointment, even if it's just, and then a splash page for a website even, and a cell phone. And that's it. And you could be off to the races. Just a real something basic that you can send somebody. Somebody says, "Hey, I want to check you out online." Cool. Here you go. Here's my one-page website. It's got lists everything you do. Simple way to talk to you, and that's it. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, it's really hard though. The marketer and the person inside you is like, "Oh, I want to see what that is. I want to know what that is. I want to use that."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, hey, listen. I also wanted to remind everybody. I don't know who was on the. Who was on? I know you were on here, Jason. We did a roundtable call the other day, right? Wasn't it? It was you and Nick and.
Oh, just a couple days ago. Yeah.
Who on the live show was on the roundtable call? What did you guys think of that? This is something that we've been trying to do a little more of, right? Which is bring people from the community on these live events where we can talk to them and really drill down to how they're having success, what they're doing, how they're executing, which is the key, right? It's got a couple of different purposes. One, to get people fired up about taking action. Because, Nick and I can sit up here and talk about how we get clients and the revenue we're generating and all that stuff. And people just will always say, yeah, but that's you guys, but that's you guys. It's like, so we like to bring other people from our community that are having success to show you that it's not just us, right? If you apply some effort and you execute, just about anybody can generate business with a lot of the stuff we talk about. So we had this roundtable discussion. I see Laura says it was great. Edgar says it was highly insightful. I said it was awesome. Yeah. Well, we have a recording of it. If you weren't there or you want to go back and review it, which I would recommend maybe you do, because I always find like the first time I listen to something, it's great. But the second time, there's always something I missed. Some little nugget that a person said, especially if I start thinking about, well, what are my current struggles right now? Like, what are the things I need to improve that I feel like I need to get better at? And if I start listening to the conversations with that in mind, I always hear something. I'm like, oh, that's how they got around that. Right. So we recorded it. And we actually put the recording up at offlinesharks.com/roundtable. So if you didn't see it or you want to listen to it again, go to offlinesharks.com/roundtable. You can hear the whole recording there. It was really awesome. I think you'll get some value out of it. So go check that out. I'll just leave that scrolling across the bottom of the screen for you guys. And do you guys have any questions about tools? I saw somebody was asking about Uber Suggest. Yeah. Here's the thing about Uber Suggest and Answer the Public. And like, we use a lot of those tools. So, but again, what are you using them for? Right? Like, we use them for keyword research. So we have a specific use for them that leads to revenue in the agency's bank account. Right?
Yep.
So always keep that in mind.
And honestly, I still to this day just have a free account with Uber Suggest.
Yeah.
So I do. I don't even pay for it, but I like the tool. It is a good tool.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Let me see what else is going on here. I saw there was, I don't think we shared this in the shout outs. Let me find this one. Yeah, I didn't see this one in the shout outs, but Frank the Tank, I don't know if Frank the Tank is on here. I hadn't seen him on here yet, but he's posted a win that he said he turned a free listing into a premium simply by calling the people that he was populating the site with. So he got $147, then a $1,500 upfront for 3 months social media posting deal. Look at that. There's the social media, 3 months social media, and if you go check out that, AI Social, that tool does all of the fulfillment for you. Like you don't even have to do anything. The tool will do all the fulfillment on the back end. So
that's really cool.
Really great deal. Yeah.
You know, I talked to with that in mind. I talked to Dan a couple days ago, and he mentioned to me he just closed another Google Ads client from a listing from the Reach machine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think I want to say it was 800. I think it was $800 a month is what he closed them at. Wow. So, and that just happened this week. So,
wow, that's great.
Congratulations to Dan too.
Yeah. Awesome work, Dan. Awesome work.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, I know. Oh, I always forget to do this. So hold on. Let me go to this. We have one thing we're going to do. I think we're going to wrap up a little early here. A couple of things. Number one, go check out the roundtable, offlinesharks.com/roundtable. If you're doing social media or that's a service you're offering, check out offlinesharks.com/AI socials. Really great little AI social media tool you can check out there. And then before we go, I always love playing this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
We want to give away some Cash App money. Our Cash App winners today are Donna Norris and Barbara Golding. Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, a great live show. Smart questions. Love the interaction. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you go out and check out some of the tools. I hope they help you get more done, get to the goals you want. Definitely check out the roundtable. Check out the AI socials thing. If you have any questions, let us know in the Facebook group. Stay safe out there, everybody. Practice Aloha. Yeah. We'll see you next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel.
See you guys. Thanks for having me.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.